to our therapy session.
I did want this episode to be comfortable, so I'm glad we did get into a comfortable spot now that I think about it.
I feel like we're really leaning into the weird angle, guys, and this is our comfy angle, guys. So, what's up?
Welcome to the Comfy Angle podcast,
where we talk about how to be comfy while being creative. Yeah, man, I'm pretty...
That's a good tagline.
Not bad, right?
I gotta be comfy while being creative.
That's not bad.
We're going through a rebrand.
Yeah. We're going through a few fucking things right now, truthfully. We're going through a lot. We're going through a weird time right now in Toronto. The weather right now is tripping balls right now. So,
yeah,
basically, if you're not from Toronto, what happens here weather-wise is that February is usually really freaking cold, and we get a ton of snow, right? So
fast forward this.
I can't. They gotta have context. They have context. March could be a toss-up. Could be through some snowstorms. So usually February, peak depression, like peak seasonal. What is it? SAD? What is it?
Seasonal depression.
Hey, Winston. Seasonal depression is at a peak, right? And then so that means our creativity is like suffering, and we can't really think about. It's hard for us to like create serotonin and be happy and think about projects we want to do. We just look forward to the summer months. But then today...
Okay, you keep telling the story. I'm taking Winston's bone away.
Today and yesterday and the day before that, we've had the most absolute beautiful fucking weather. Like gorgeous gals. Gorgeous weather. We've been hiking. We're doing all
What was the point of explaining this?
Reason being is that we're just getting teased and tampered with, and it's hard to feel a sense of like solidarity because we have trust issues and we feel like shit's just gonna get ripped from underneath us, and you just gotta stay stable, man.
Yeah, I wasn't able to enjoy the sun today because I was just like, I can't trust this. We're gonna get hit with snow.
No, we can't. So, and that's a thing that we deal with a lot as creatives is that we
discomfort.
we have to deal with discomfort, and we can't just rely on being in a beautiful area and a beautiful place for us to feel that feel the motion. It's not like when you wake up in BC or Vancouver or whatever and you're like, ooh, mountains,
rain.
I'm gonna rain and mountains. I'm gonna put on Bon Iver and just drive and get lost. Or if you're from LA, you're like, sweet, sunny every day, California, serotonin, vitamin D overload. I heard like 90% of Canadians are vitamin D deficient. Isn't that messed up?
I could see that easily. But like, dude, you just wasted so much time talking about like, if somebody's clicking on this video or clicking on the podcast and then like the first 4 minutes is just talking about vitamin D deficiency about people in Canada.
All right, I'm gonna get to my point then. I'm gonna get to the point. This is where I'm going with this.
Okay.
Is that
bring it full circle?
Full circle. We need to find creativity and spark creativity in different ways than other people. We can't just rely on natural resources.
Okay,
it just kind of has to happen. We have to find our ways. And right now, I'm, as you know, and we've talked about this on pod, I'm currently in the middle of directing a short film that goes into production in the middle of March, and I'm really excited for it. It's my first time that I get to direct without a camera.
You're pre-pro boy.
We are in pre-pro, and it's really exciting, and it's stressful because I've always thought from the camera side and always thought about being the DP and having to work that out. But now I just have to be artsy-fartsy boy and emotional boy and be really in tune with my emotions right now. So like I'm kind of not panicking. I'm really excited, but I'm trying to source creativity that's not just from pain and depression.
Oof.
I know. So I've made a very loosey-goosey tier list for us to follow that we find where we find a lot of our inspiration from. So I'm going to break it down into 3 categories. First category is, what was it? Oh, it was music.
What was it? This is what you've been trying to do? Dude, I think it'll be such an easy step for you to come into a directing role from like where you've already been.
Yeah.
But I do fully align with like, it's so much easier to create when you're in heights of emotion and less easy when you're like in a neutral spot. Mm-hmm. When you're neutral, you're just like, I'm just gonna take a break. But when you're like in pain or like in happiness and in love, you're like, oh my gosh, there's so much to create.
Yeah. There's no peaks and valleys when you're neutral. There's no high highs and there's no low lows. You kind of just feel
totally
as stagnant as possible, which is kind of a good thing at times. You know, being stable is quite nice, but trying to find beauty in it and inspiration in it can be very difficult.
It's less nice.
That's nice, man. That's nice. So we rely on outsourced sources, which is and you go through the same thing. Even trying to make YouTube shorts and YouTube videos, man. It's like you want to be original and you want to have great quality content and great quality videos, but how do you keep the ball rolling? I don't know.
Yeah, well, music for sure is definitely a big portion of that. Like just going through playlists. I'm just even thinking about like how I spend some mornings and stuff. Like if I'm journaling or writing or something, like music plays a massive part of that, depending on like what kind of vibe I'm writing about. Like if I'm trying to like be like future forward thinking and be super positive and like versus like super poetic, I'm like, okay, that's totally two different like music vibes that I'm totally putting on, like atmospheric, like manifest frequencies or like super like lo-fi beats or something like that.
Which is which though? Are you journaling to lo-fi? Like,
No, I can't. Actually, I could probably journal to lo-fi. True. But most of the time I go like more like atmospheric stuff.
Cool.
No lyrics, but then I can like channel my brain into like a different zone, you know?
Yeah, music's always been really important to both of us. We both grew up playing guitar and many other instruments, and our parents had a very heavy influence on the kind of music that we listened to. And then even when we moved in with each other for our first apartment, the best thing about it was that because someone was always home, we always came home to an apartment full of music. Something was playing in the background. Yeah. And it's carried over too. Now 7 years later, I always have music in the background. You always have music in the background when I walk in, and it always has to match like the mood that you're in, and the lighting of the day, and I like finding playlists like that. But even like specifically when it comes to my photo work and my video work, a lot of the times when I'm thinking of composition or a part of the story, I hear the music first before I even see the shot. I refer to a lot of some of my favorite soundtracks for movies. The top of the list would be Her. Yes. So it was
Jinx.
You owe me a pop. But it was scored by Arcade Fire, and
hilarious.
Man, one of the most like heart-wrenching, most gorgeous scoring I've ever heard in a movie. And I know people can fight me and they can be like, Interstellar was even better, but there's just something about the simplicity that the approach to it that was just piano and like some synths and some electric sounds. It was just
like it stands alone as its own piece.
It absolutely does. Cool. And then I think I've made little short films using every single one of the songs from that album. And now you can't even like stream it. I feel like I had to like rip it from the internet to listen to it.
Classic YouTube to MP3.
Yeah, classic. But I actually wrote down a few things. Actually, we wrote down a few things about music. Actually, that's funny. Her is at the top of the Her soundtrack's the top of there.
Yeah.
When I was doing a short film, a project for Jamie Fine, which was a lot of emotional stuff, very like intimate work, I had Cigarettes After Sex playing in the background for the actors to like get in the mood and get into their vibe. And nice. Even though I was the one feeling a lot of the creativity, it allowed them to like open up into a new space that kind of let go of any kind of resistance, and they just really leaned into the creativity and into the project of it.
I've heard Mark Bone say before that like he has he puts like an earbud in and has a playlist because like they're trying to capture audio or whatever. So it's like you can't just be blasting that on a speaker. But just to keep your kind of like time. So you're like holding on shots the way you would hold to a longer soundtrack.
Oh, interesting.
A slower soundtrack. Versus if you're listening to hip hop, you're probably going to like pick off shots way quicker than if you're listening to Cigarettes After Sex, you know?
Man, I've gone into the edit so many times being like, fuck, I wish I held this for like one more second, man.
Yeah.
And then I Command R it and I slow it down by like 5%. Hopefully that stretches it out.
But imagine if you were listening to the music, like some temp music while you were shooting, you'd probably shoot it a bit differently.
I definitely think I would.
Yeah, it's just a cool, I've never done it myself, but I would love to try that.
Yeah, that's interesting. Shout out to Mark Bone. That's really cool. Is there any other music that you find sparks? Doesn't even have to be like for like cinema and for photos, but is there any other kind of artists or soundtracks that really hit you and just spark a lot of serotonin?
Interesting. I think like a lot of hip hop, like I don't know how to say this without being like old school sounding hip hop.
Like MF Doom, old school.
Yeah, like MF Doom
Okay, word.
sounding stuff, including MF Doom and like Tribe and all that kind of
Oof.
like more like boom bappy. But I've heard people like diss the term boom bap. So, but still, like just that sort of like that era of just like that. I don't know, something about that really gets me like my insides going, and I'm able to like think and listen to the lyrics, and I don't know, it puts a really positive spin on my day.
Yeah, it's different than putting on Frank Ocean and accepting that you're probably crying a little bit, crying on the inside.
Way different. But even that, like with channel stuff in you, you know, it's like crazy that even if you're like in a neutral spot, you put some Frank Ocean on, you're like, okay, now I'm in this weird like floaty zone, and I can like channel all this like sad boy energy.
Definitely. I mean, man, one of the most pivotal moments that happened already for me this year was when I journaled for the first time in months, and it was just recapping 2022. We talked about this in the last pod, but I was so particular with what was playing in the background that I had to like stop journaling 3 times because I couldn't get the vibe right, and it was really frustrating me, and I honestly gave up. And it wasn't until I think honestly it was like a folky Bon Iver.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying that. Yeah.
So it just came on. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm feeling something. I'm feeling some
Man,
shit. In my
yeah,
stomach.
I cannot do any lyrics.
Really
It screws me up, man.
interesting.
Yeah, I can't have lyrics.
It's like, you know, people like fall asleep to music.
Yeah.
I can't fall asleep to music with lyrics because I just get too invested in hearing what they're saying versus just like falling into a subdued trance.
Oh, that's trippy.
Can you sleep to music?
No, I've never tried to. I mean, I've definitely fallen asleep to music, but no. I think I'd be one of those like white noise people.
Oh, have you tried it?
No, I've never.
You should try that.
Yeah, I'd be down.
Word.
Sorry, we're getting off track here. What's the next category?
Next tier is this is very so typical. It's so typical, but it's movies. The next tier is
Oh yeah.
watching movies, watching films on YouTube. There are so many movies that spark other movies that spark. Like I watched this one video on YouTube. Well, it was 10 different scenes from anime, like animated
Nice.
from it.
Cool.
And that famous directors, and we're talking like Francis Coppola. We're talking fucking what's his name?
Other famous people.
Insert other famous directors. They had stolen or / referenced images from animes and recreated it into the movies, like
Yeah,
shot for shot, perfectly matched lighting. And
An ode, I think that's what people call it.
yes, so
And a
definitely
nice nod.
nice little nod to it. So yeah, I definitely find that watching movies spark a lot of my own work. And you know, we've talked about copycatting so many times before, where like copycatting it's one, yes, the other person gets flattered by you trying to recreate something that they've made, but we gather so much inspiration and technical knowledge by trying to recreate things, and by recreating so many and adding so much to our library, it somehow morphs into our own personal identity in our work.
Yeah, totally. You'll never recreate. Even if you tried to copy something exactly, you'll never be able to. And at that point, you're slowly developing your own style, your own taste.
For sure.
So copy, it just becomes a remix.
Yeah. Like that being said, I did find a LUT today that it says it's a Dunkirk LUT, and I threw that on a beach scene. And I was like, boy, I'm Christopher. Who directed? Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm Christopher Nolan. that's
Yeah.
me, dog. Filled up a card. Our bad. Running it back. We were talking about LUTs. We're moving forward. Talking about
No more LUT talk.
no more LUT talk. Just the movies. You were on a tangent, Spence, but I want you to talk about your favorite. Your movies in what you call a stash. What is this stash?
Yeah. So basically, my tangent was all about like that neutral place of being, and then going back to like this stash over that you just kind of make from years. And it doesn't have to be just movies, but since we're talking about strictly movies, and just going by every time I see it, like a movie that really impacts me for any reason, and just putting it in there, you know, like going way back, starting like Donnie Darko,
Fire.
Lost in Translation,
Crazy.
Fight Club, like they're just stashing theirs away,
Yo,
you know,
but
for all different
I
reasons.
have to cut you off.
The Notebook.
I got no. Honestly, some days, but no. I have a confession. I've never watched Fight Club,
You should watch Fight Club.
like ever. I know.
Dude, I'm so disappointed in you right now.
Dude, I know it's like one of your favorite movies of all time, and honestly, I'm that guy that talks shit that says that he's watched Fight Club. I'm like, oh,
That's
yeah.
okay.
I'm
I've
like,
definitely done that to so many
Rule
movies.
number one, right? Rule number one, right? We don't talk. you know. Damn.
It's a good book too.
I've heard.
But yeah, just the storytelling and the way it just differs in like editing and pretty much all fronts. Like, yeah, it's just like one of those good confusing sort of movies.
Yeah. And
Good confusing.
what I like about your list too is that yes, they are classics, but they don't fall into what today's Hollywood is. Today's Hollywood, or maybe a few years ago, was overrun and populated with a lot of superhero movies and super highly produced. A lot of Michael Bay movies, you know, and nothing wrong with them because they have their own lane to live in, and they're some of my favorite films. I'm a big Marvel stan, but now what we're seeing is the resurgence of like the indie film and a lot of prominent A-list actors that are jumping onto these indie films. Like A24 is like paving the way for
Totally.
all these gorgeous, incredible films, and with the likes of like Timothée Chalamet kind of frontlining them. You know, Bones and All, one of my
Yeah,
favorite
like add that straight into the stash as soon as we saw it.
gorgeous film. After Sun, Paul Mescal, loved it.
Yeah,
Incredible performance. Great way to use mixed media. The Whale, Brendan Fraser, Crazy Transformation. These are all movies that are phenomenal, and now they're living in their own space in these like little indie theaters. And it's fine if people aren't actually going to theaters anymore, but cinema is definitely alive.
Yeah,
It's back, and it's awesome.
I have like a hot take, kind of. Like I think the era of movies like 500 Days of Summer are back. Like films like that are just like
definitely
like quirky, but also like hit the mark and are just like an instant classic kind of thing.
Yo,
Like Bones and All.
yes. We need to bring back Tumblr all at the same time then.
Dude, don't even get me started.
Yo, I was actually sweet little tangent. The co-star in my
Dude, Tumblr's the first shot deck.
that's okay. Okay, two things I got to touch on. First one, Tumblr. The co-star in my film Morning Coffee, written by Kyla Ma, directed by me and Kyla, just so everyone knows. I was talking to the lead. Her name is Virgo Martinez, incredible actor, and I was like, "How? Like, what do you do? What's your shit outside of being a content
Tell me
creator?"
she would post on Tumblr.
She's like, "I use Tumblr every day, bro. It's a thing in Europe still. People in Europe are still messing with Tumblr. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Tumblr is the
Whoa,
best thing in
man.
the world, and we just stopped using it." Winston is now in the shot. Winston, do you have anything to say about Tumblr?
No.
Nice.
Dude, wow, that just blew my mind.
I know. Second tangent, totally taking away your steam.
Okay,
Shot Deck.
Winston, can you go? We're trying to talk about Shot Deck.
We're talking
buddy.
about Shot Deck. We're not even sponsored, but we're really excited about this. So Shot Deck. I'm late to the game. You've told me about it several times over, but Shot Deck is an incredible search engine and library of just movie stills that are from probably your favorite movies of all time. And people have graciously taken these stills, and when you click on each photo, it tells you what movie it is,
So much
who was
info.
directed by, the cinematographer, how they lit it, the color schemes, the palettes, all the camera was used on, the lenses. It gives you all the information, and it's
Anything you wanna
insane.
know.
And it's such an amazing reference point for when you are creating a visual treatment, like I have been for the past month,
Yeah.
sourcing images for this film and trying to get the right DP on, the right creative crew on it. So
Yeah, it's a mind-blowing tool.
it's a mind-blowing tool. It's a little expensive. I found out that I was on a free trial, so it's not. There's no free. Yeah.
Got you.
So you do got to pay for it, but I think I'm going to bite the bullet on it and delete my Netflix account for it because they're equivalent.
Yeah, one you can watch them, and the other you just look at what they shot it on.
Jesus, but it's super helpful. Maybe I'll just keep getting free trials every time that I'm doing a film.
Yeah, there's also a lot of other tools now that are starting to pop up that are kind of the same, but ShotDeck is definitely the most robust in terms of
What else are there? I don't know any.
just like very similar tools, and people are trying to do it for less or free. You know?
Cool. Yeah, it's basically like ShotDeck or Tumblr for films. It's great.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of it. Okay, I'm gonna next topic. The last thing that we get a lot of our creativity from is not what you think. So we have
real life.
It's music. We have movies. The last one is moments.
It's Vimeo.
It's Vimeo. No, it's not Vimeo. It's moments.
It's Vimeo staff picks.
Dog, it's moments. It's real life things. We're like we are sad boys at heart, but we want to be happy and we want to make beautiful shit.
It's the new Mac DeMarco album.
Yes, but there are just
Vitamin D.
Yes, dude, vitamin D. You know what? I'm not going to argue on that. Vitamin D, going out in the sun. There are just things that you cannot replace.
March break.
You done?
No.
March break is definitely one when you're in high school. Sure, elementary school.
Man.
I
got some good memories of March break.
A lot of fun times, but it's true. It's relying on memories and things that you've actually experienced that garner up a lot of energy in the bones, a lot of electricity. And I think about even like simple things. So everyday things that I think about when it comes to moments that inspire me are waking up with my dog like crawling up every morning and like lying on my chest. That
Cute.
sounds so cheesy and so cute, but to me, I start my morning off with a bit of love. And so I take that love and I can project that into like the rest of my day.
Boom.
I think about like standing long hugs with my partner. Those moments where like you just come home and you both just need to hug each other and like you both sigh and you just stay there way longer than you thought this hug was going to lead to, and it feels like the pressure of the world is like off your shoulders.
Yeah,
for
that hits
moment,
deep.
right? And I think about that that's definitely in my film, that like those moments are really important and people can all, it's like hugs are like a universal language between bodies, which is so cool. It's like the great equalizer.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. You have any like random everyday moments that just like spark that love? You know, like it could be like pour over coffee, you know, it could be the routine of that.
Yeah, dude, all the small moments of like in between stuff I feel like are really, really, really overlooked in every day. Like exactly what you're saying. Like waking up with your dog, or just like when you like turn to the sun. There's something that I feel like I've caught both of us doing a lot recently because the sun's been out, but you just like shut your eyes and you turn to the sun and you just stand still.
Man.
And you're just like, oh, it's warm. And you could just feel your entire body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man.
Like stuff like that. Listening to ocean waves every time gets me.
Yeah. And
the lake down here.
The Lake Ontario. Damn.
But still, it does it for me.
If you close your eyes, yeah, it sounds like it.
It does it for me.
That's what I'm jealous of where you live, right by the beach.
Yeah, seagulls, man, for sure.
A random thing for me is misting my plants in the morning because the sun kind of casts through the raindrops and creates like little pockets of sunshine. Yo, that's
cinematic, baby.
It's a mindset. Cinematic's a mindset. Bigger ones though, I think about road trips, you know?
Mm-hmm.
When you're driving on dirt roads and you feel weightless and you feel limitless and you just can go forever listening to your favorite songs. Like I reference those memories all the time in every film that I can touch, you know?
Or singing your favorite songs with friends.
Oh.
In a car or some shit.
Yes.
We have so many memories of just that.
So much. Like people, okay, I got a bone to pick with some people. People often will think that nostalgia is something that holds us back. It means that we hold on to things and we can't be present. But nostalgia can be one of the most powerful tools if you own up to it. If you like really accept it for what it was and use it as a power to project it into a project or into something that you care for currently, it is one of the most amazing tools, because all we're doing is drawing up on moments where we felt infinite, or we felt very low, and we can
Mhm.
take all that stuff that we've held on that are still live in our bones and not even in our mind, and we can put it towards something. Nostalgia should not be seen as something that is negative.
Nostalgia is the shot deck of your life.
Shot Deck needs to sponsor us, man. Wow, we just gave them a great tagline.
Okay, tell me that doesn't make nostalgia so much simpler to understand, though.
Say that again.
Nostalgia,
Is the shot deck of life?
yeah, shot deck is fuck. I don't know. I said,
Duh, it was good though.
but yeah, like, I agree with you. I feel like it gets a negative connotation, but no, yeah, it's just like it is exactly when you said limitless. Is that what you said?
Mhm.
Limitless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just such a good description of like all those moments.
Yeah, I'm just in constant pursuit of tender moments. You know, core memories and shit. Purple skies, setting suns, rising suns. That's what I want.
Yeah, those are all like such good. It's like the more I think about like the little happiness, like creativity sparks that everyday life brings, it's the tiny, tiny moments that really bring me so much joy. Of
Mhm.
like exactly what you're saying about like plants, of like just how the light hits, things in the afternoon, or like sitting in a park with your dog eating pizza, or like
Good one.
yeah, like just the way the sun is setting and you like happen to be up early, like
Mm-hmm.
it's stuff like that you just do without actually the thought of intaking it, but then later get to like experience the nostalgia of like, oh man, like that week or like those 3 summers that we worked landscaping, landscaping and had to wake up before sunrise,
Yeah.
It's like in the moment it might suck, but then looking back you're like, damn, I have a lot of nostalgia for just seeing sunrises. That's cool.
Yeah. I feel you, dude.
I don't know, maybe that was a stretch, but whatever.
I mean, if I would cut some grass right now, goddamn, I'll take that over snow. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Or even that, sitting on a park bench in the
Mhm.
middle of a day, drinking beers with people you work with.
Yep, that was a good time.
Greatest creativity spark ever.
Mhm. Yeah, I often think about. There's this moment I experienced at Kitsilano Beach in Vancouver that I've often referred to as the best moment in my life, only because
Big stakes, man.
I said that exact line out loud. I was with Teresa, my partner, and I just looked at her and I out loud said, "I think this is the best moment in my life."
Was this the night that you proposed her?
No, this was not. This was 4 years beforehand,
Holy shit!
but
Okay.
in the exact same place. Smart guy, I know, romantic.
Smart guy. Take notes.
But ocean, Pacific Ocean, seagulls, purple sky, you and your partner, kind of fresh, maybe a year and a half dating, all the emotions. It was just,
Possibly a long hug somewhere in there.
oh my God, Longhound was definitely in there. And it was the catalyst. It was the catalyst of all moments that I could experience. And I feel like I've been chasing since that moment to feel something similar. But that is the part where nostalgia can be.
I feel like that's
kinda
what cuddling
cumbersome.
feels like.
Yeah.
A good snug feels like that story.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm okay with being in pursuit of that same feeling because I have felt now what it's like to feel infinite, yo.
It's like a weird turn, man.
Infinite?
Yeah, it's like when you ever like driving with your buddies in a truck and you're in the truck bed and you guys are going through a tunnel and then you like
And then you like put your arms out and like David Bowie's playing, we could be heroes. Man, that's crazy, man. Yo, you should make a movie out of that.
dude.
Shout out to Perks of Being a Wallflower. Shout out to Danny
Dude,
Converts.
also another great Stash movie.
Good stash.
I gotta
movie.
watch that movie again.
I think we need to cut this and go watch some movies, bro.
What a weird episode.
What a weird episodes. But to wrap this up, yo, find creativity in the most mundane things.
Yeah.
Find it in movies, find it in music. That's our tier list. The 3 M's. Music, movies, moments. Anything else to say, bro?
Memos.
Memos. That's
No, I feel like I've just been talking bullshit this whole episode.
me too, man. Bullshit is over. Have a great one, y'all. You know where to find us. The Creative Herd, TikTok, the site creativeherd.ca for the assets. Spencer on the YouTube, me on the Insta. Nolan Begley.
Share this with a friend. That's what I want you to do. Share this with a friend.
Yeah, because friends.
Oh,
share.
yo, I also started a subreddit.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like we need another outlet. You know what I mean?
If you guys. Yeah, yo, Reddit us and talk shit about us. Okay, bye. Love you. Bye.